Hello, class, and welcome to what looks like a dark and dreary apartment. Uh, well, anyway, we're going to be talking today about the liberal arts and humanities. So again, the title, Introduction to the Liberal Arts and Humanities. All right, so in our presentation, we are going to address the question, what are the liberal arts? And we're just going to go over a brief history of the liberal arts. So I shall not disappoint you. What are the liberal arts? Well, the liberal arts refers to the educational curriculum of rigorous study in the five liberal arts disciplines: fine arts, humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, and mathematics. So to study the liberal arts basically means that you take part in this rigorous education in these five areas. And the liberal arts, interestingly, is the most ancient curriculum offered in Western colleges and universities. Now, the term liberal arts derives from the Latin liberalis, or free, and ars, or practice or discipline. That is, training in the liberal arts in the ancient period was the educational program of free citizens of ancient civilizations. So a citizen is one who participated in civic affairs. So in other words, this ancient curriculum of the liberal arts was traditionally designed to train people for careers in law and government. Now, here are our five areas of the liberal arts. We have the fine arts, humanities, social sciences, natural science, and mathematics. So in other words, in your liberal arts curriculum, you are going to be touching upon each of these areas. So you'll be required to take something in the fine arts, like something in visual art, music, theater, etc. You have to take something in humanities, like literature, languages, philosophy, maybe even theology or rhetoric. The social sciences, like government, history, sociology, psychology, economics. The natural sciences, like astronomy, biology, etc. And of course, you'll have to take, well, in this case, one math course, something in algebra, arithmetic, geometry, etc. Okay, so we have an idea as to what the liberal arts are, what the term liberal arts means, and we have some familiarity with the five major areas of the liberal arts. So let's go over a little bit of history. So one of the earliest and most influential proposals for a liberal arts curriculum comes from the Greek philosopher Plato, who lived from the 5th to 4th centuries BCE. And Plato wrote this highly influential book called The Republic. And in this book, Plato designed a training regimen for the philosopher kings, who were these ideal political rulers that he wrote about. And this training regimen included the study of history, philosophy, rhetoric and logic, mathematics, as well as athletics, such as wrestling and gymnastics. So as you can see, wellness and fitness in the Dutch Community College curriculum fits perfectly in Plato's, what is it called, in his training regimen. Now, as we graduate from the ancient to the medieval period, in the medieval university, there was a similar curriculum designed for future political leaders and clergy of the church. And in the medieval University of Paris, for example, students were required to study the 7 liberal arts: the trivium, or the 3 disciplines, grammar, rhetoric, and dialectics, and the quadrivium, or arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. Now, interestingly enough, it is not uncommon that you will hear the argument that the modern university traces its origins back to the medieval university. Why? Because it was in universities like Paris that we see the beginnings of entrance exams, like SATs, as well as the selection of majors like arts, medicine, law, and theology. And this is just a graphic or a picture of the 7 liberal arts who are kind of on the rim or around the rim of this wheel. And one thing that you might notice is that these depictions of the liberal arts is that they are female. And the idea is that these female liberal arts or personified liberal arts were seen as like muses, for the male university student. Now, this is very interesting. So in the 19th century in America, there was a debate in higher education as to whether the liberal arts were still relevant in a new age of scientific and technological advancement. In other words, in the 19th century, the liberal arts were under fire. And academics discuss whether the liberal arts curriculum should be abolished and replaced with a focused study on science and mathematics. Sound familiar? But in 1828, there was the publication of what is called the Yale Report, where liberal arts professors fought to preserve the liberal arts curriculum. And this is what they argued. So in the report, the professors argued that the liberal arts contributed to what they call the discipline and furniture of the mind, expanding its powers and storing it with knowledge. And the report also stated that in laying the foundation of a thorough education, it is necessary that all the important mental faculties be brought into exercise. It is not sufficient that one or two be cultivated while others are neglected. Okay, so what are they getting at here? Well, think about it this way. Let's say that you want to get into good physical shape. So how do you do that? Well, in order to get into good physical shape, you have to exercise all of your muscles, right? You have to exercise your arms, your legs, right? Your abs, your glutes. So again, in order to be in good physical shape, you must exercise all of your muscles. So what the Yale Report is saying is that the human mind works in a very similar way. You cannot study just one discipline. If you want to exercise the mind, you have to study many disciplines. You have to study language and philosophy and mathematics in order for the mind to be in good condition. So the liberal arts are basically keeping your mind sharp and in shape. So the Yale Report was enormously influential, and in the mid to late 19th century, liberal arts colleges were founded throughout the United States. And here we have a picture of our very own local Vassar College, which was one of them that was created. And in the mid-20th century, we see the creation of affordable institutions such as state schools and community colleges like this picture of Bound Hall and Dutchess, most of which have retained some kind of liberal arts training. And of course, that's very true for us here at DCC. However, at the opening of the 21st century, the relevance of a liberal arts education is once again being questioned. Throughout the country, several liberal arts programs have been disbanded, being replaced by professional degree programs. And interestingly enough, in the past couple of years, we even find that liberal arts colleges are beginning to close all over the country. So here's a question for consideration. Is this a good idea? Should the liberal arts major at DCC, for example, be disbanded? Should liberal arts studies be replaced by trade programs aimed to help students secure a career? So in our discussion forum this week, I'll be very interested to see what people say about this. Is there some value to the liberal arts, or are they like a waste of time and money and we should just get rid of them? So again, looking forward to hearing what you all think.